this was supposed to be the day that megachurch pastor Bishop Eddie Long broke his silence. Instead, he has backed out of an interview and a news conference, and there are new allegations right now against him. A third young man is now suing the leader of the 25,000-member New Birth Missionary Baptist Church. CNN's Ed Lavandera broke the story, and he joins me now live. This is the first question I have to ask to you. Yeah. And this, you can see this right there. This is on Twitter. What does that say?
Don Lemon, where's the bishop?
Where is the bishop? He is so transparent. I have to ask you this. He's always here when he wants to talk about something, when he wants to promote something. His PR people call us, his church members call us. And now that people want to hear from him, it appears to the public that he's hiding. Where is the bishop?
There's no question. Well, I don't know where he is right now, but we were supposed to hear from him this morning on the Tom Joyner radio show. He was supposed to call in. Our colleague CNN's Roland Martin was supposed to speak with him this morning. Turned out that they asked, his attorney says he told him don't do the interview.
He was supposed to go on right. Tom Joyner's morning show, right. and he and Roland and Tom were supposed to interview him. And here's what Tom Joyner has said on his blog. I'm going to read this to you. He said, Joyner said this was after the interview where Long was supposed to attend, and the attorney went on. He said, he would be immediately, Tom is saying, I would be immediately making radio appearances to try to clear my name. I would have beat me to work, Joyner said. I would have been in my radio studio before I got there, meaning trying to clear his name. So
and I've gotten a lot of messages like that over the last couple of days. And you know, yesterday when I was asked this question, you know, we were able to say later in the day, I was like, look, he's planning to do this interview, Tom Joyner radio show, obviously a relatively friendly venue. And then he was supposed to also later in the day today come out and make a public statement, just read a statement, not take any questions, but at least appear on camera. I mean, we haven't seen him in a couple of days, and this is a man who is seen everywhere.
Yeah, and here's when we're going to get to the third person, and we're also hearing from B.J. Bernstein from radio interviews that she did with Frank Ski, I heard yesterday morning. They are vetting other stories from other young men as well.
She's told us that as well.
Speaking to PR people, and we know the American people are very forgiving. If you come out and say, even let's say, you know, innocent until proven guilty, whatever part of it, hey, listen, if you come out and you're honest and you're transparent with the American people, usually they will forgive you for whatever, if you've done something wrong. And if you haven't, then you have nothing to worry about. Here's what he is losing the opportunity to do the longer he doesn't talk. He is losing the opportunity to say, I've already answered those questions, and to move on by not coming out and speaking, because people are going to be asking and asking and asking until he answers.
Oh, there's a question. Real quick, though, we do know that he's planning on speaking publicly from the pulpit on Sunday.
That's a controlled venue. I'm talking about answering the tough questions.
Questions are another thing, but we'll hear from him in a couple of days. And then the other thing is all we've gotten so far is a statement that his attorney says that he wrote, and he talked about that on the show on the Tom Joyner radio show. We can listen to a little bit of what Bishop Eddie Long's attorney, the statement that he read from the bishop this morning on that radio show.
I have been through storms, and my faith has always sustained me. I am anxious to respond directly to these false allegations, and I will do so. However, my lawyers counseled patience at this time. Let me be clear. The charges against me and New Birth are false. I have devoted my life to helping others, and these false allegations hurt me deeply. But my faith is strong, and the truth will emerge.
Why couldn't the bishop say that?
That's I think that's a fair question. You know, I mean, it's not one that I can answer, but I think it's, and you know, we're hearing it repeatedly from a lot of people. You know, he's got a lot of defenders in his church. I was told that the way this statement, when he read it on camera, was supposed to happen today, was going to include having a lot of supporters behind him. So we need to be clear. I mean, he still has a great deal of support. However, there's also a great deal of people who go to this church. We've spoken with them who also say, look, I want to believe he's telling the truth, but I need to see more, and I want to hear from him directly. So we've heard that from his church members as well.
Again, these are, as we were saying, these are just allegations, but the more you don't talk, and it happened with Tiger Woods, it happens with everyone. The longer you sort of hide, as people think, then they think you have something to hide, and like, what's going on?
And it was interesting. Roland Martin started off the interview this morning on the radio show with that very point. He's like, if these guys were saying this about me, Roland said, I'd be on top of a mountaintop screaming my head off if it wasn't true.
But you don't have to say it's easy when it's not happening to you. That's easier to say. And someone who's in the public eye, things are said about you that aren't true, and there's no way to defend them. And sometimes when you talk about them, just saying this, just to be honest, you give them more play than they deserve.
I also want to pass along, too, his attorneys, said, look, if you want to blame somebody, the attorney's asking, blame me. I'm the one that kept them off the radio show this morning.
I'm going to say what people are saying this morning about there were 2 interviews. There was one on the Tom Joyner radio show, and there was one on Frank Ski, and we had Frank Ski booked, and he said his bosses told him that he can't talk anymore, is that the attorney is, by going on those shows and saying that, it doesn't look good. People are saying, he didn't even know what time church service was on Sunday. And this is the thing. Why didn't they press him harder? And that's what I mean, going to a journalist who's going to ask the tough questions and not doing the cliche thing and thinking you're going to go somewhere and have the softball interview and it's going to be over. That's not going to happen. Deal with it and then move it on and get it behind you. Right. Yeah, sorry. on my little high horse here.
Got me on the hot seat.
As we said, innocent until proven guilty. By the way, you're doing a great job on this story, and we'll see where it goes. Again, we're hearing from B.J. Bernstein. She's vetting other people, and there's a third young man, I should say.
3 as of now. That could change.
Filed yesterday.
We'll keep tabs on that.
Thank you very much, Ed Lavendera. Appreciate it.